I think honesty is the most heroic quality one can aspire to. And in that spirit, I would like to acknowledge that nothing is more heroic in life than being able to say to another human being, "I'm scared, I need help." As an Englishman, a certain amount of natural reserve prevents me from being totally comfortable with the notion of being called a hero. I still can't quite wrap my head around it. When I think of heroes, my schoolboy mind can't help but take over, and I think of everyone from my personal sporting heroes, English cricketers like Freddie Flintoff, to Alexander the Great, leading his army to victory. Incidentally, considering that Alexander was bisexual, perhaps next year Trevor could honour him in some way, given that no one has actually done more for gays in the military. However, sporting personalities aside, those kind of all-conquering, world-defining heroes are harder and harder to come by as the world gets bigger. Charismatic individuals who use eloquence and passion, as opposed to fear and ignorance, as the tools they use to shape events, are often unable even to be heard above the din of media mediocrity and people-pleasing politicians. But the truth is that a hero is not always the person rallying the troops for battle or leading a march against oppression. A hero is also someone who, in their day-to-day interactions with the world, despite all the pain, uncertainty, and doubt that can plague us, is resiliently and unashamedly themselves. If you can wake up every day and be emotionally open and honest regardless of what you get back from the world, then you can be the hero of your own story. Each and every person who can say, despite life's various buffetings, that they are proud to be the person they are is a hero. Now, I do have to mention at this point the real heroes of the Trevor Project, the men and women volunteers, all of whom stand up day after day, answering the calls of desperate teens whose circumstances have pushed them to the edge of the abyss. To take that call and say, yes, I will be the one who saves this life, takes such courage and compassion. Hemingway's definition of grace under pressure seems fitting, as the job they do is every bit as important and every bit as delicate as a soldier defusing a bomb. As I said earlier, I think honesty is the most heroic quality one can aspire to. And in that spirit, I would like to acknowledge that nothing is more heroic in life than being able to say to another human being, "I'm scared, I need help." So every person that has had the strength to call the Trevor Project is also a hero. And I would encourage everyone everywhere who is in need of help to make that call. Help is there to be had, but inaction will not bring it closer to you. Speak up for yourself. Remember that yours is a life worth fighting for, and know that when you're going through hell, keep going. Call the Trevor Lifeline. If you think a friend may need help, be a hero for them and give them the Trevor Lifeline number. Anyway, I will repeat myself once more before I go. Go boldly and honestly through the world. Learn to love the fact that there is nobody else quite like you. And you will be, to plagiarize and paraphrase all at once, the heroes of your own lives. I thank the Trevor Project for this amazing award. Out of everything I have done, I can truly say the thing I am proudest of is my association with Trevor. It is an astounding organization which saves lives every day, and I look forward to helping in any way that I can for the rest of my career. Thank you very much.
When did Broadway become an interest or a dream more than just a word for you? Do you remember?
I suppose I'd never really considered it until it was after the first night of Equus in London, or soon after that first night, when people suddenly started throwing it around as a possibility, and I'd never even considered that. I guess I hadn't, I'd just done my first play, so I wasn't thinking, oh yeah, I'm sure we'll take this to Broadway, or so, so it was just, the whole thing was just a kind of amazing, and I didn't know what to expect from it either.
Did you ever feel like you went to auditions or were seen by sort of film directors and got the sense that either they weren't seeing you for you, they were seeing Harry, or even you might have lost out in a role because of a Harry hangover?
Not particularly. I think doing Equus was a really big step, and I have been told that by directors that I've had meetings with who I didn't actually, and necessarily end up working with, but I had a conversation with somebody who did say to me, doing Equus, even if people didn't see it as a sort of statement of intent, people saw, oh, you want to do this. The theatre I was taken to as a kid, I saw a lot of theatre and a lot of different films, and it was all very diverse and wide-ranging. And the actors that I've always admired are people who have like very varied bodies of work. And so I think that was always something that I wanted to do. It was just when I would get a chance to do it. All I needed was, John Krakidas to think of me as Allen Ginsberg, or Thea Sharrock to see me as Alan in Equus, or Alex Aja to see me in Horns. Like, you only need one person to have the vision to give you the opportunity, and then hopefully, make them, reward them for giving you the opportunity.
As you were making the film, and especially as you're creating these sort of shaded portraits of some of the members of this community, were you fearful that the film could be taken the wrong way, misconstrued?
Not particularly. Because if anyone asked me, I'd say no. There's a very you know what I mean. I think what the film does is recognise that these people are human beings, and that in order for a lot of these films sort of tend to preach to the choir. Now, if there might be some white supremacists that go and see this movie and see it to hate watch it because they know that I'm Jewish or whatever, but if any of them go in, and if even if one mind is changed because of that, that's fantastic. And I think that this film maybe has a chance of doing that because it recognises them as human beings first and foremost. Yes, they're human beings with beliefs that are horrible to me, but they are still human beings, and we have to maintain our belief that a certain percentage of those minds can be changed. And I think that if you start off a conversation with somebody by saying you are less than me, or you are evil inherently, then of course they're never going to engage enough with you for you to actually change their mind. So as hard as it is, and as horrible and counterintuitive as it is, we will. If you hope to change people's minds, you can't write off their humanity.
You also had to take a kind of a risk for an actor in this film. You had to shave your head on screen.
Yes,
must have been a little bit terrifying.
Yeah, it was a bit. It was just because, I've never done it before, so I don't know what my head looks like underneath my hair. Fortunately, it was okay. And I think, I did most of it in the scene, and then we got Fernando, our hairdresser, to
give it a little,
kind of tighten it up.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then, a few crew members came out in support and did it too, including our DOP, Bobby, who first of all, he shaved everything apart from but he had really long hair before he shaved it, and then he just left this middle Mohican thing,
the mohawk,
for a long time, and then eventually got rid of that as well. But yeah, it was. I actually, were it not for the ideological associations that haircut has now for me, I really enjoyed having it. But I don't think I'll be going back to it all the time.
Only for Imperium 2.
Yeah. What would that be?
But you did also have to say a lot of really vile stuff and kind of indulge in some vile behavior. Did you, as a person, as a performer, have to kind of psych yourself up to talk that way?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it is horrible. It's horrible. I mean, there was a scene I was doing with a Hispanic actor who I was going up to him after every take and being like, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry," and it is because it is not fun to say that stuff even when you're acting. It's one of the few things that still just feels awful, and normally I find it very easy to separate what's going on in the scene from life, and it is, but it with stuff like that, the intensity of it is so real for both of you in that moment that you just have to keep checking in and being like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry." But yeah, no. So it does definitely take an effect, and it's also why making a film with Dan, who I get on with incredibly well, and having that sort of relationship, and the crew were wonderful, and it's you really need that on films like this. You can't live at that level of intensity and bleakness all the time. You do need to be able to step off set and just talk about something else and have a laugh about something completely separate from what you're doing.
Visit our site, EnglishSpeechChannel.com, for exclusive access to video transcripts, offline audio, English lessons, and private classes. Don't forget to explore our free and new ebooks. Also, subscribe to our weekly newsletter for the latest updates. Links in the description below. Thanks for your support.